What does beautiful mean to you?
I guess beautiful is an expression of like a view, like an experience, a feeling. When I think of beauty, I think of how something appears to me, how something is to me, how I view it. And I guess beauty kind of defines the most loveliest, worthiest things. Um, it it kind of can be so many forms, but I think
Mm,
when I'm thinking about the word, I'm thinking about how it expresses how I view something. And it's usually something very joyous or appealing or um it's almost like playing catchword without saying the word, you know?
okay. Okay.
Like you're just trying not to repeat the fact that beautiful is beautiful, you know?
Yeah. 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 I like how you said, you took a pause when you said the word forms. Can we explore that a little bit?
I mean, I think that, like I said, beauty comes in different forms, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that, sometimes I think initially we might think of beautiful as an appearance,
Mm,
um, but beautiful could mean a process. Um, I guess, for me, a lot of what's beautiful are processes. I'm an obstetrician, so
okay.
a lot of my day to day compass is pregnancy.
Okay.
Someone's either coming in because they are pregnant, they want to be pregnant, or they don't want to be pregnant. And so
Oh,
it's this beginning of life that to me is truly beautiful, but your lens has to be tuned to it. So it's like a process. For some people in the beginning, it's not beautiful.
right.
I think sometimes when you look at yourself initially, you may not see the beauty in yourself, or you may not
Mm-hmm.
see the beauty in what you're going through.
Mm,
And I think beauty is a very full word. It's flat. I think it's flat when you think about it as far as how someone appears.
mm, mm. It sounds
The
like to
very
me, yeah, it sounds like to me you kind of, move past just an appearance to a journey
correct.
in some aspects.
I mean, I see so much of it in the strength of women. It's a journey and it can be a difficult journey, but when we're looking at like the whole, you know, overview, it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful journey. And I
Mm.
have these conversations daily.
Yeah.
I'm seeing somebody from the beginning and the last 240 days. I mean, just that little snippet of
Right.
one life
Right.
for one person,
Yeah.
it's a process. And initially, you want to believe it's beautiful, but it's painful in the journey. Can
Exactly.
be.
Exactly. So, from your profession, of course, that's something you strive to be, and you reached it, and successful at it. How has that changed your way to process your journey of recognizing beauty? From
I
when you
guess because
started to actually, I mean, you
right.
what you 20 years, 20, 30 years in now?
Yes. Well, I'm 20 years in the game. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
graduated from residency 20 years ago.
Right, right.
I will say that I probably got that whole like beauty as a process type, looking at the process because it's kind of like beautiful how it culminated for me because
Right.
I come from, a situation where my parents are immigrants. The
Yeah.
first language isn't English. And,
Hmm.
when they immigrated here with some dreams, the
Right.
American dreams of, getting an education and
Hmm.
providing for their family and raising, upwardly mobile children that are productive.
Right.
And I never was told I couldn't be or couldn't do anything. And I think, from a small child, I don't know, I just knew I wanted to be something. And funny enough, the Cosby Show resonated with me, and I just ran around saying I wanted to be a doctor. And honestly,
Cliff hooked you, huh?
Cliff Huxtable really was like my idol. And when I applied to medical school, I was very honest. I don't
Yeah.
have those type of role models. What I
Right.
had
Exactly.
was a television show and a black man living his best life with his
Exactly.
lawyer wife.
Mm-hmm.
And, at first it doesn't seem real, but you're like, I can live that life. I can be
Yeah,
happy
that could be me.
being that type of person. And something that was supposed to probably just be comedic genius was my idol.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
what I dreamt about was being a Black person, being able to give back in my community. When he
Right.
saw his patients, they were Latin, they were African, they were white, they were
Yes.
Jewish,
Yes.
they were Christian, they were hippies.
Mm-hmm.
We saw all of them in his office, and
Mm-hmm.
all of them he treated well.
Exactly.
And when you're coming from a place where you're like, oh, I'm just trying to make it, I'm just trying to assimilate, I'm just trying,
Mm-hmm.
my parents give me this long African name, and you're like, all right, let's see how we can chop this up and kind of, come in without,
Right.
letting everyone know, oh, that Black over there wants to be a doctor, so
Yes. Yeah.
you're trying to really find the path of least resistance. And as you're looking for that, you don't find it, especially
Mm-hmm.
as an African American. Like
Mm,
what we saw on TV was
exactly.
glossy and beautiful,
Yeah.
but the journey, which is beautiful for me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and storied. When I tell people my journey, they're just kind of like, wow. So, yes, I was pre med. And when I stepped on the yard, I was actually enrolled in the College of Arts and Sciences
Really?
pre med. Yes. And there was a week of whatever that was, our student, whatever
Yeah.
orientation.
Orientation. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a long time ago.
Mm.
I did not go to SAW, and I didn't do the engineering,
Yeah.
whatever that was called before they started. So I didn't have those clicks already.
Right.
But what was becoming apparent to me was that the classes that I was enrolled in and the classes I felt the most confident in didn't fall in the same line. So, in other words, I'm thinking to myself, girl, you're good at math and science and you're not in the engineering school. Why are
Right.
you not in the engineering school? Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know who I came into contact with that
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And I transferred from the College of Arts and Sciences to the McCormick School of Engineering the
Oh, okay.
week of orientation.
Oh man, perfect
And I
timing.
thought to myself, like, I quickly made a couple of decisions.
Yeah.
I could be pre med, but I could be an engineer. Because in my mind, I'm meeting all these people. It's a lot of pre med.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of, look to your left, look to your right. And this is the orientation week. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, they really trying to take a brother out. Like,
Yeah.
like what are we trying to gain here? Because we
Right.
want to make it.
Yeah.
And so I quickly was like, okay, we're going to do engineering and maybe the courses I need for the MCAT, which were all like math and science kind of courses,
Right.
I
Right.
can use those to get an engineering degree.
Right.
Boom. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Covering both bases. Yeah. I got you.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, even if I do get an engineering degree, maybe I'll be the girl who creates prosthetics. Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking very like shallow. I'm
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
thinking about the fact that the way I process material as an
Mm-hmm.
engineer still would benefit me as a doctor. That
Right.
doesn't come apparent. That doesn't come apparent until, way far down the line.
Okay.
And initially, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to try. I'm going to go with this. There are
Mm-hmm.
people you're meeting that are like, oh, I'm a double major.
Mm-hmm.
I'm environmental engineering and I'm civil engineering. Like there were double major weirdos. And you're just kind of like, okay, am I really doing it? I mean, because everyone's an overachiever. Like we did not go to
Yeah.
school with mediocre people.
No, we did not. And we got
And
introduced to that quickly.
Introduced quickly. So as I'm meeting the girl on
Yeah.
my left, who's a double major, double engineering major, and another
Yeah.
one who's over here who's
Yeah.
in engineering and an economics
Right.
major, I'm like, hmm, yeah, keep that medical school thing going because these guys are going for the stars. Like
Right.
you've got foreign exchange engineers. I didn't know anybody with left-handed writing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was
Right.
literally like I don't know what it was about some of those engineering classes. There was so many left-handed people in the class. It was like,
Yeah.
is this a thing?
that you noticed that is something.
That I noticed it. And then, just the foreigners, because
Yeah.
I came from Oklahoma. So,
Yeah.
all
With
these
me.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get into
So,
that in a minute.
I'm coming thinking to myself, where are these
Yeah.
Asians coming from? They
Right.
competing, they got their graphing calculator left-handed,
Yeah.
right-sided
Right.
mind theory. I'm like,
Right.
I'm over here a little
Right.
like,
Hmm.
yo, this is deep.
Yeah.
And um, I think that, at some point I tried to convince myself that I was just going to be an engineer. So I was like, you know, I think because a couple of things. The GPA was a little like suspect. So in other
Right.
words, someone who was used to 4.0 was nowhere near 4.0. Was, kind of scraping 3 point something. So you're thinking,
Yes.
okay, this is not ideal. So what are we going to do? So, there was some even more like journey changing. Like I decided maybe sophomore into junior year, okay, maybe I could get a master's because I'm really
Hmm.
thinking, they're getting inside my head. The
Hmm.
classes, the competition, this thing with the MCATs. And at the time, the MCATs was just one time a year. It's like almost
Hmm.
like being drafted. So it's
Hmm.
like if you didn't get drafted, you were kind of screwed till the next year.
That's
So
right.
you kind of needed a plan if you didn't get drafted.
That's right.
And so I would just kind of like, all right, there, grades are a little suspect. I'm not sure, that's going to work.
Hmm.
I'm really not sure. So I'm just kind of like, I'm switching gears. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this environmental engineering thing. I'm going to get a master's. I'm going to work down in the EPA because now I'm thinking about going to Emory.
Yeah.
Thinking about going to Atlanta. I'm
Right.
like, oh, do this. And at the time, Ebola was becoming emergent. So there was
Hmm.
like, they were talking about animal studies and we were getting into HIV and,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
I was
That
like,
was that
okay.
time. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
for me, I was like, okay, that's my wave. I'm going to go
Hmm.
down because I specifically applied to Emory thinking, okay, I'll
Hmm.
be close to the Environment Protection Agency, which
Hmm.
was located in Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I will just, sashay myself over there with my degrees and get a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get into a conversation with my father, and this is like the most pivotal part of the journey now because
Okay. I
I'm
gotta
thinking,
hear
okay.
this. I gotta hear this because we. I gotta hear this.
I
What
mean,
do you say?
we get it. We've got the GRE down. I don't know. I
Yeah.
qualified for some free test. I
Yeah.
passed the GRE.
Right.
I'm well on my way to Emory. I've got accepted. I'm going to their master's program. And my father, my junior year, is like, wow, what if? And I'm like, what if what? He's like, you said you wanted to be a doctor. And I'm like, yeah, I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm going to be an engineer. My dad is an engineer. So this is
Right.
where it's really tripping me up. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I said I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm going to be an engineer.
Hmm.
I'm already, I've already got accepted to Emory at this point when he is talking like this. He's like, well, I would hate to get along in life and wonder what if. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, it's a complete like mind game. And I feel like now that I'm an
Hmm.
adult, it's like he knew something about either my ability
Yeah.
or my
He.
drive or, because you're watching somebody from a small child
Hmm.
form this theory and she gets to a point where she stops. I don't know. I'm really like confused because I'm just kind of like, now I'm exacerbated.
Right.
I want to be an engineer at this point. I've put the medical school thing out of my mind. And he's coming with this, Wahala. I'm like, huh? Okay. So my thought is I'm going to try to please him by failing the MCAT, because I'm thinking if I fail the MCAT
Come on, you
and
weren't
I
gonna do
don't get
that.
into medical school,
You
he'll
didn't think
see that I'm
that.
meant to be an engineer. Right.
You did not think consider that, did you?
I did. But the problem is the way that my mind is thinking, I'm already going to
You
Emory.
already in
Like
there. Yeah. You already see the lane.
I'm
You see
already
it.
graduating. Like
Yeah,
he
you
gives
see
me
it.
a car. I've got an apartment. I'm enrolled in graduate school. And I get into medical school in the middle of graduate school.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm thinking to myself, wow, what do I do now? Because now I'm in my first year of graduate school and I have gotten into medical school.
Oh wow. So you actually applied and got in.
I took the MCAT and I did the applications on some like shits and giggles, because my MCAT score was a little like iffy. My
Uh,
GPA was a little iffy. I had pedigree.
and
That's
it
the
was just
only thing
like
I had.
grabbed you and said, "Come here."
I mean, I had pedigree. The minute I started opening my mouth to say where I went to school, it was like people stopped. We're like, what? You're
Yeah.
applying? You're an engineer? You want to go to medical school? It was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm really thinking that my package is like poor. Well,
That school name holds some weight, don't it?
it held so much weight, because as I'm interviewing at graduate school, as I'm going to medical school interviews,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Do you know why you're here?" And I'm like, no. The person interviewing me went to Northwestern.
Right.
I went to Northwestern. I'm like, oh wow, really? Yes. That's why you're here. And that happened to me a few times,
Yes.
2 or 3 times, where I was like, oh, it wasn't until I applied to medical school that I was like, wow,
Yeah.
put some respect on that degree.
That's right. That's right.
Put
It.
some respect on that degree. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess, the engineering part was like, oh, she's really like, this isn't like she did some PM&R, she did some basic type, general
Yeah.
studies. She was really in a curriculum.
That's right.
And I got in. I got in. And so I did a whole year of graduate school and transitioned to medical school.
Wow. So what did when you told your dad you're in, what did he say?
Um, I mean, it was the I told you so moment. It was a complete I told you so moment. He just was just kind of like, you see,
Yeah.
I know. And to this day, it's hard to even give him the whole credit, because I'm just kind of like, he saw something about my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have been unhappy as an engineer, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he knew I could be a doctor. And I
Right.
think he was like, yeah, we got to see this all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, because me being a father, and my daughter, you have a child, you know who they are, and then you know when they're talking about considering something that that's not who they are. They just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, just trying to find a way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you feel that urge to kind of step in and be like, look, I know where your happiness and your joy is. You know, and I know it seems like it's not possible right now. You know what I'm saying? But just give it a shot and see what happens. And like
And
I
I
said,
think
as a
I
dad,
think he knew he didn't have
you
to
know your
say too
child.
much.
You don't have
Yeah,
to.
you don't have to say too much. You kind of know, because you know your child.
You know your child, and you kind of know their path. And you kind of know what their gifts and talents are, and they've always been proven. So it's just like I guarantee you, if you just go swing that bat one more time, you understand that the path is clear. So it's
A
it's
hundred
it's just
percent.
something. Yeah, as a parent, you really do know your child. You know what I'm
A
saying, and,
hundred
and, who- and
percent.
who they are. So it's just fortunate that you had your dad at the right fork in the road moment. You
Right.
know, you in the route, you in the lane. Is as fulfilling as your dad is expected to be? What was that journey like?
No, that journey was challenging.
What was challenging? Did it made you like, oh, dad, what are you thinking? What are you saying? I should have stayed
No,
over
it just
there.
was like it was Northwestern all over again. It's like you're like 5% of the class.
Mm-hmm.
You, it's a secular, little group of African American and
Mm-hmm.
brown people that have to stick together.
Right.
We don't have
Yeah.
the black house anymore, but we
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah. You
the
in
study group
Champagne.
and
You
the
don't have
holding each
Chicago.
other. Yeah, and just holding each other accountable. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Study groups and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, except you don't have that same framework that you had at Northwestern,
Mm-hmm.
but you know it. You
Yeah.
know it.
You've been trained in it.
There are, yes, you know there's study groups. You know that
Mm-hmm.
you know how to, gather. You know how to formulate, a plan. Like, you're not supposed to be alone
That's
with
right.
these type of courses.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you know
There's
exactly
power in
how to operate.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah, you know it.
It
Yeah.
power in numbers. And so it was a little bit of like over the course of the medical career where it was like everything about me becoming an engineer is why I'm a doctor.
Mm.
Everything about why I went to Northwestern is why I'm a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything they instilled in us, everything that they showed to us, we knew the tools. You just didn't walk into medical school and say, okay, I don't know what to do.
You're right. Very,
Was
very well
the
prepared.
looking to the left, and the right had nothing to do with them because I'm looking out for me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So
And
those.
so, I mean, I will say it was a lot of that still marginalized minority. Now you're seeing in the lens of medical, care, how we are discriminated against and
Mm-hmm.
marginalized,
Mm-hmm.
because now you have this unique little, role of being the medical student. And so now you're in conversations that you haven't been in before,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at the patient and you're looking at the doctor and you're realizing there's a disconnect in conversation here. There's communication
Right.
disruption.
Mm-hmm.
And all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden now you're like, let me break this down for you.
Yeah.
And that part is the part for us
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
An episode of Sanford and Son. It
Yeah.
happens a couple times actually, where the cop, you remember the dark skinned guy, I
Yeah.
forget his
Yeah.
name,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was on
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
227.
227. He's the father. Yeah.
Yes. His sidekick was a white guy, and he'd
That's right.
always try to get the black lingo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if he did his little cop lingo, Fred would turn and look to the cop and be like, "What he say? Oh, he said he about to. They got the suspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you realize, okay, yeah, you talking cop ease,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the black ease? Like, what did you just say here? And it's
Mm-hmm.
the same in medicine. People are being told that they have illnesses and didn't understand any of the lingo. And
Right.
there was this point where I was like, oh, that's where I can be helpful to my
Effective.
community.
Exactly. Exactly.
Communication.
It's right. And it's something.
Communication, 100%.
Yeah.
We don't feel heard. It's repetitive in our
Yeah.
healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's repetitive in the outcomes that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Either we're not taken seriously, we didn't understand the instructions, they didn't talk to us on our level. And
Mm-hmm.
whether they feel like that level is either up here or down here,
Mm-hmm.
there's discrepancies and disparaging in our care
Mm-hmm.
based on color, age, socioeconomic status, and it all tends to be Black people or
Mm-hmm.
brown people
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
people who are not of
That's
the
right.
upper.
That's right. That's right.
And so over that course of, time,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the journey where it was beautiful, because now I
Mm-hmm.
realized my purpose.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my
Mm.
purpose was to be that physician that was well learned
Mm-hmm.
and able to communicate and
Mm-hmm.
able to
Mm-hmm.
offer care.
So what point in your career were you just like, you know what? This is the Autobahn. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
probably
like I'm
probably
cruising, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm watching some different exits. Maybe I need to get over here and spend some time. Maybe I'm getting going too fast. Maybe I'm being too assertive. Maybe I need to watch out for the traffic cop. What was that moment you was like, man, I'm on Autobahn. I can go as
I
fast and hard as
mean,
I want
and
to.
when you say Audubon, I feel like that was the point where I understood the terrain, I understood my vehicle, I understood my
Mm.
route, and so
Mm-hmm.
now I could coast. That's
Right.
when you say Audubon, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I think about as far as my career. Like, when did it feel like I had those elements
Right.
together? And I
Right.
would say it probably took almost 10 years, 10 or
Mm.
15, because the thing about medicine or the thing about healthcare or thing about life,
Mm-hmm.
nothing is the same.
That's right.
Nothing is the same. And you meet some people who have different beliefs about how they view their health
Mm-hmm.
and what they should do about their health. And you have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, I think because I was so book learned,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't willing to listen to, oh, my God is a good girl. We gonna have this baby today. Get this epidural. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's, prophesizing and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
over time, I realized I had to bring God into my practice.
That's right.
I had to use it as an opportunity to testify because there were too many things, even with the book learning, that didn't
Mm-hmm.
explain the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you prayed or you had a higher hour.
Right, right, right.
So for me, the book started to be like less about the book and more about the purity of your heart.
Yeah,
What are you trying to achieve? Who are you channeling when you're
you're right.
doing what you're doing? Because
Wow.
obviously someone put it in you. You could
Yeah,
either be the garbage man, you could be the one cleaning out toilets at the hospital, you could be the one doing food service, you could
yeah,
be the one in IT. There's so many different roles that God picks for his people.
yeah.
And my role is this. And I think once I started to really feel like God's got me, like,
Mm. Yes, yes,
you know, coming in like, okay, I know you may not believe in the Lord, but I'm gonna just let you know God's got this.
yes.
Yeah, girl. Okay, can we pray? I
Yeah,
prayed in appointments. I
yeah,
prayed at deliveries. I
yeah.
prayed before deliveries. I've prayed over partners. I've prayed over babies. I prayed over losses. I prayed over their families. And I realized he put this in me.
Mm.
He put this in me.
Mm.
He put this in me to be a vessel for him.
Yes, right.
Every birth, and I focus on the obstetrics
Yeah.
because the gynecology is my fun part. I get to
Uh-huh.
be a
Uh-huh.
surgeon. I
Uh-huh.
get to, but the humbleness of life is having a child, and
Yeah.
this.
I know it.
It's completely God's control. It's completely, I don't
Right.
control anything. You
Right.
want epidural? Sure. You
Yeah.
want to have a vaginal birth? Sure. You
Yeah.
want it to be fast? Sure.
Yeah.
Talk to God. Talk to God.
That's right. That's right.
Because right now, all I'm trying to do is facilitate God's work.
That's right.
Your baby's breech, we can't have a vaginal birth. Your baby is high risk that needs to be delivered. No, we can't follow what you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a trust fall. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what this pregnancy, and every pregnancy is different. You don't know the map.
Mm-hmm.
You do
Mm-hmm.
it one time, it wasn't that bad. You do it another time, you think you know what's going on, and this baby throws you for a loop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Every
Because
time.
it's not about what you're thinking, it's about the process, and God has already handled it. When they're, oh, I just want to avoid a C-section, talk to God.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll bring you peace to whatever route you have to take.
I mean, you
That's
learn
for
about
sure.
making plans, you learn
Yeah.
about plans. God will
Yeah.
show you in a minute. You do not plan anything. I
That's
got
right.
this plan.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's something like
I've
going.
been so humbled in this process because
Yeah.
I know there's a God. There
Yeah.
has to be a God. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
no way I can do what I do without that.
Yeah.
I've
That's
seen some of the
yeah.
most impossible situations be the
Yeah.
most beautiful blessing. And you're like, okay, that's it.
That's it. And you was a part of it. That's humbling enough.
It's humbling. It's humbling because when you're young and you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get into the word and you're thinking about God,
Mm-hmm.
how can you use me? And you don't
Mm-hmm.
know nothing about being used. You're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like, I'm just saying it, but if I could testify, if I could be there, if I could be, positive for somebody, you're not really thinking about what he's about to mold you into.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought I would be that person who would be grabbing hands and praying and appointments, full on getting my reverend on, because they come in with the, I don't want that. I said, well, okay, let's be humble today.
You something.
I'm crazy. They come in and they're like, Dr. Ankrah, you so crazy. I said, well, okay, but we're gonna have this baby and it's gonna be healthy, okay?
That's right. That's
Hmm?
right. That's right.
I'm, and I will pray in front of a Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
Muslim, African, Spanish. I don't make apologies about it.
Mm-hmm. And it, mhm. And it's something I'm telling you, when your father taught you in that moment, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I tell my children this all the time, and you can't really. I can tell you this because you have experienced it, at that crossroad, and most people don't, because sadly, that most people even grow up as adults not having their father to be able to shed light, but a father is a protector of that vision, you know. So he gets in there, right when he knows you about to make a decision that seems valid to you. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like it makes sense, but he has to protect that vision and purpose that God has for you. And he's the mouthpiece. That's why he doesn't have to say much.
He
But
doesn't. And it's
but
funny
but the, but
because
the
my
but
mom had nothing. She was
mm-mm,
not a part of that.
mm-hmm. He doesn't have to
She
say
was kind
much.
of in the background.
Mm-mm. He knows he's the protector of the purpose God has over your life. For those moments to pray over families and scared mothers who don't have that type of
100%.
don't have that support in their lives. The first time they've probably had anybody pray over them in their life. You know what I'm saying? With a genuine, especially in that moment when it's one of the most fearful experiences for a woman. It's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
is a
Right.
life changing deal. It's about, it's something you can't fathom. It's a total reset in time when you have a child.
Right.
You know, is when you had that child, it's just like that person has been here. It's such a huge spiritual experience because it feels like that child seems like it's been here all my life. You
It's
understand?
true.
It's the
They
weirdest thing.
and they didn't know they needed that part of their heart filled with that
Yeah, yeah,
type of love until that person
yeah,
came.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That some will come in and be like, okay, I'm one and done. And
yeah,
then when they're pregnant again, they'll be like, Dr. Ankrah, can you believe it? And I'm like, I can.
yeah.
Because God had a plan for you. You over here talking about one and done. God knows when you're done.
Exactly. He had a plan for it. So it's kind of it's special to see that, as part of your journey and how your dad said, because I know what that feels like, and it's and your dad was confident. You know what I'm
Very.
saying? He was very confident because he
I'm his
know,
oldest. I
yeah.
think he had
He
I
was
think he
extremely
had high
confident.
expectations for
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
prototype.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was very confident in that moment that God was going to come through because he knew that was his purpose and his assignment. And it is a special feeling when you're at those moments, crossroad moments
Hmm.
for your children, and you're there and you're
Hmm.
present for it. You can do
Yes.
all the things in the world, but when you're there for those pivotal moments, you say to God as a father, like, okay, this was well worth it. If
Hmm.
if it took 20 some odd years for me to get to this moment where I can tell my child exactly who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's, oh man, you've been blessed. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just you
He has
can't you
such
can't
he has such
imagine.
an ego. I try to hold back because
I
I
know
know at this point I'm just kind of like I just try to slide past without him constantly being like, I did that.
Unbelievable. So you give me top three things you would tell people about what is beautiful and how to experience it in its fullness.
I would say God is beautiful.
Mm,
And that's probably the biggest part of my journey has been recognizing that God has been the navigator of this beauty. I would say the journey is beautiful. I pray.
let me stop with the God part. Did you wrestle
Yeah,
with that, or did you already just like
I knew that.
were you easily convinced, or did
I
you
knew that.
already know
It was revealed to me.
it was revealed to you?
Yeah, it was revealed to me because some of the days I would literally be in tears, like I did not deserve that outcome. I did not
Mm,
deserve for it to turn out positively. I felt like, everything looked like it was going to be a different situation, and that
mm,
was nothing but God. And
mm-hmm,
He constantly testified to me,
mm-hmm,
constantly showing me, constantly giving me those situations where it's like you have to trust in the Lord, you have to put your faith in the Lord, you have to give it to God. Like
mm-hmm,
some of those situations, until I see the whites of that baby's eye, I don't know what's going to happen. I
mm,
don't know if this baby is going to come out okay. I don't know if, I mean, it's there is a moment where it's about God.
mm,
She's pushing, 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 and yeah, we're monitoring and we have the baby's heart, but until that baby takes that first breath,
mm,
that's God. Every single time, every single time, every single time, even when they don't take that first breath,
mm,
even when I've held them and He took them already.
mm.
The
So so
parent,
so what is that moment like?
it's surreal. It's surreal.
The fortunate part to have taken a breath, but what about they didn't? What is your
It's
mind and go? Yeah, yeah.
I'm praying. I'm praying the whole time. I'm
Mm,
praying the whole time. Yeah, I'm praying the whole time. I'm praying for everyone in the room. I'm praying that, the little one is there with him. I'm
mm-hmm,
praying for me because it's an emotional thing. It's an
mm-hmm,
emotional thing.
mm-hmm,
Normally we're all screaming and hollering, and you know that.
mm-hmm.
Push, push.
Mm,
Everyone's just
yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And eerily, when the baby doesn't make that sound or it's not in that situation, it's a quiet hush tones. It's darker. It's you know
So how do you? I mean, again, embracing that type of total opposite sound of joy and jubilee. I mean, how do you
I mean,
embrace?
I still see beauty in the form.
Mm,
I still see beauty in the form. I can never explain why God does what He does, but I see beauty in the form. They're perfect even in that moment.
mm.
They are perfect even in that moment. I think that's the part that's the most heartbreaking is that you see perfection.
Even in that.
Their little hands, their eyelashes, their nostrils, the chin, the ear. You're looking at the shoulder, the fuzzy hair, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it,
Man,
all of it.
yeah, that is God.
That is God.